so I'm assuming it's like semi-okay, or at least I'm hoping. So, I do have some water here that I may or may not take a sip of, but yeah, let's get into it. The book I'm going to read some from is The One That Got Away with Murder by Trish Lundy. I'm pretty early on in the book, so I'm just going to start off where I'm at. And also, the first chapter is kind of spicy a little bit. It's just kind of awkward to read, I think. So, I don't really want to read that one out loud. Sorry. So, this is chapter 6. Let me actually turn up the volume a little bit. There we go. Chapter 6. Friday after practice, I hear Mom laughing and Mark's laugh echoing after hers. I find them in the kitchen making a pizza together. Mom splashes some sauce a little too hard on the dough and some of it splatters onto Mark. He over-exaggerates a gasp and she tries to rub it off. I don't think I've ever seen Mom attempt to cook something other than pancakes or grilled cheese. We're more of a takeout family. Love that. I clear my throat so they don't start making out or something. Oh, hi, Laura. Mom says, practically batting her lashes at Mark. I fight the urge to roll my eyes. Instead, I tear off the pre-wrap that's too tight against my scalp. I remind myself he makes her happy. She turns on the sink and sticks her hands underneath the running water. If this is inedible, we can always get Domino's. I'm sure it'll be good, I tell her. I take a deep breath. I've been putting this off ever since Sunday. My game plan has been to wait to ask Mom about going to Robbie's lake house until the very last minute. Then it won't seem like such a big deal to her or me. We've texted a couple of times, but Robbie hasn't mentioned anything about this weekend. He knows I have the upper hand. It's only one weekend, the last weekend of summer. It's now or never. I relax my jaw and try to channel my most charming self. I was wondering, could I go to a friend's lake house tomorrow for Labor Day weekend? Who? She asks. Lex, I lie. Some of my teammates are going, the senior girls. I haven't lied like this to Mom in months. It doesn't exactly feel amazing, but she is not about to let me go to a boys' lake house alone. Not with my track record. She briefly looks up at me, and it's like her eyes widen, like she's wondering if I'm telling her the truth. Where is the lake house? She asks. Lake Monarch. I say, where is that? Just north of here, Mark says. A lot of folks in Happy Valley grow up going to Lake Monarch. Is it safe? Mom asks. Okay. Wow. I'd say it's pretty safe, Mark says, slicing up some black olives. I bite my tongue, hoping he doesn't mention anything about Victoria. That's one way to ensure Mom doesn't let me go, Mom adds, the olives to the pizza in near circles. There was a drowning a couple of years back. Great. Thanks, Mark. A girl from Happy Valley continues. She was a soccer player like you, Lauren, but they were never able to determine if her boyfriend Robbie had something to do with her death. Robbie Cressmont, Mom says bitterly. She already hates him. I made the right call in lying. He volunteers at my work, she says. Not sure how much he actually helps us, but it's not like we can let him go. I'm sure he's the kind of kid who has never had to be held accountable for his actions. She turns and looks at me. I think you should stay here and have a quiet weekend. I try not to deflate on the spot. Mark slides the pizza into the oven and gently closes the door. Lake Monarch is a beautiful place, he says. It could be a peaceful weekend away before your senior year. You'd let Ainsley go? Mom asks Mark. At the moment of truth, Mark glances at me. I would. I give Mark a small smile. He's trying to win me over. Ainsley loves it there. We stay locks eyes with me. Then her gaze softens. Alright, she says. You could use a little getaway before your last year of high school. I stare at her, making sure I heard her correctly, but I want you back no later than Monday afternoon, she says. You need a good night's rest before your first day of senior year. Thank you, I say. My fingers already itching to text Robbie. When I reach for my phone again, I'll notice that Mom frowns as she wipes down the counter. Chapter 7. This will be my last weekend with Robbie, my last weekend of being able to numb myself before my senior year. Come Monday, I'll break it off with him. We'll start Valley High without ties to anything complicated. Are you going to do it or not? I remember Rachel saying when Clint and I had gotten into another one of the fights. It was just a couple of weeks before the fire. I thought that if we broke up, then I wouldn't be around the lax guys anymore. I hoped Donovan would finally leave me alone, but I loved Clint. I couldn't bring myself to do it. If I had, maybe I'd still be living in California. After I told Robbie I was down to go to his lake house, he texted me, "This just made my day more than you know." My face burned as I read it. Then the thought bravely crash landed into my head that maybe I shouldn't go. But it's only 3 days. 3 days that will help me forget about the worst day of my life. Girl, you absolutely crazy going to a lake house with someone. Really any boy alone. Absolutely crazy choice. I don't know if I would do that. It's worth it. I'm shoving my bathing suit and beach towel into a duffel bag when there's a knock on my bedroom door. Mom, what time are you leaving? She asks. I glance at my phone. It's 9:45. I try to pack faster. 10, I say quickly. She sits down on my bed as I rummage through a cardboard moving box for a clean pair of underwear. You still take your birth control every day, right? I toss the pair of underwear with a duffel. I meet her gaze. I've never missed one. Why? If there are any boys going, there aren't, I say quickly. I turn my attention to a pile of socks so she can't see how red I'm getting. Mom is kind of always in my business about birth control. She had zero sexual health education and got pregnant with me at 18, and she had no one to talk to her about her options. My bio dad hung around for a couple of years, but then he met someone else and started a new family. We don't really talk how I prefer it. She sighs, as if she can finally relax, knowing the odds of me remaining unpregnant are still ever in her favor. I know I was on the fence at first, but I think it's great you have a group of girls that can be your friends. I know it's easy to forget. It's not easy to forget about. I immediately cut her off. I'd rather not talk about it. Okay. She leans toward me and gives me a kiss on the head like she used to do when I was little. Something about this, but the tenderness she's showing me makes me want to curl up in her lap and cry. Thanks for letting me go, I rasp. You deserve to, Mom says. I have the sudden urge to confess everything. Text me this weekend, okay? I will, I promise. I hug her tight, smelling the honey-scented oil she puts in her hair to keep the cranberry color from fading. She's worn her hair in every shade of red, from Ariel to Lindsay Lohan since I was little. What are your plans with Mark? I ask. Ainsley is coming over. It's the first time I'm meeting her. Mom lights up every time she talks about Mark, like she used to do about Andrew. I'll never forget walking into our apartment after school and hearing sobbing from her bedroom. She'd just broken up with Andrew after the news got out about the fire. I cracked her door, finding her curled up in the fatal position on her bed, the same exact position I had left her in that morning. I never want to see her like that again. We can all get dinner or something. When I'm back, I suggest. Mom beams. I'd love that. Then I'm grabbing my duffel and heading downstairs. I told Robbie I'd meet him a straight over for mine. On I'm sure he could guess. I spot him from a few feet away, popping the trunk to his car. He's not alone. Two other people are in his car. They must be Trevor and John. Robbie mentioned they'd be joining us. His insurance policy against slander. Okay, earlier I said I don't think that I would go to a lake house with a boy alone, but I definitely would not be going to a lake house with a boy and two of his friends. The math is not mathing. What is going on here, Robbie? As I get closer, the guy in the front seat gets out. He's tall with deep brown skin, wearing leather boots, tight black jean shorts, and a boho t-shirt. He has a nose ring, and when he puts out his hand, I notice his fingernails are painted glitterily. Glitterily. Wow. My brain. Oh, wow. The Fast and Furious are outside right now. So sorry. I can't read it, and I have bad background noise. Everything's fine. His fingernails are painted glittery black. Wow, I don't know why that was so hard for me to say. I'm John. You must be Lauren, he says. I shake his hand. His grip is firm. You sure you want to join this group of degenerates all weekend? The way he says it, it's like it's a challenge, as if he's daring me to join them. I think she's pretty sure, Robbie says, squeezing my shoulder. John lets go of my hand, then Robbie's grabbing my duffel. It's the first time I've seen him outside of volunteering. His uniform has been replaced with black jeans that are almost as tight as John's, and a black tank top tucked into them. My eyes start to the white back of Marlboros sticking out of his pocket. Ew. Then it's like a younger version of Robbie glances back at me from the rolled-down window of the car. Same pale skin, same dark hair, same intriguing brown eyes. But the animated features aren't there. Hey, Trevor says in my direction. I can't help but notice the way he gives me a once-over. I call shotgun, John says, hopping back into the front seat. I am intensely aware of my place as an outsider in their little group. I open the door to the back seat and slide in. Then we're leaving my neighborhood. Robbie puts on something alt-che-esque. What is that? And I fight the urge not to glance over at Trevor too often. He wears AirPods for most of the ride and only takes them out when we stop at Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru. We get back on the highway, and then Robbie takes an exit that leads us onto a 2-lane country road. Okay, unfortunately I can still only film 15-minute videos, or upload 15-minute videos, so I'm gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching.